Okay guys, welcome back to another video. Hopefully you're all doing well today and thank you very much for joining me. Today guys, I want to discuss the topic of rock bottom. Fascinating subject. Okay, now since the release of my video on YouTube, I've always had the question, which I haven't answered yet. Was there a specific rock bottom moment that prompted me to change? How did I know for sure from that very day that I needed to change moving forward? Or did something happen to me? Was there a traumatic incident? Something to do with the drugs that then prompted me to change? Okay, so I'm going to address that for you today because there was a specific moment. That's the first part of this video. And the second part, guys, is we're going to discuss actual rock bottom. What does rock bottom actually mean? What was my rock bottom? How many times did I hit rock bottom? Because guys, let me tell you, there was definitely more than one occasion. Okay, and also guys, I'm curious to know, what was your rock bottom? Have you been to rock bottom? Maybe you're not there yet. Did rock bottom prompt you to change? Okay, because guys, sometimes rock bottom is not enough. Sometimes the ultimate intervention can even be death for an addict. Okay, so fascinating subject, keen to get stuck into it. Let's begin. Okay guys, so to begin, there was one specific moment for me whereby I knew I needed to change moving forward. And it was quite literally like a light came on and I had a voice within inside me to tell me to change, okay? Which I'm going to explain to you in a minute. But basically, just to give you some context, maybe for anyone else who is new here, in 2019, my addiction was absolutely at its peak. It would be, once I start, 4, 5, 6, 7, as long as 8 days continuous use with no sleep, okay? Really, really horrific. Once I start, my brain just kicks in to this addiction mode and it's more, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get more. Now, usually it would start off with using with say a few people, Friday, Saturday night, but once those people are done, I will then go into isolation and just keep feeding and feeding and feeding until my brain is satisfied, okay? Which is a really horrific place to be, okay? Not nice at all. And what would happen is eventually, guys, is I would hit a wall. So this, say for this moment in time in 2019, I was on about day 6 or 7 and I crashed, okay? That's the end. And it's almost like your brain saying, you've now fed me to the highest possible limit. I'm content. You can have your life back. There you go. So there you are. You've now got your life back. The drugs are done and you know you're done. That's the end of the session. However, you are now in an extremely low mood. But what would happen to me then during this low mood is something that I would experience, which I've never experienced before other than in this specific situation. Okay, and what would happen to me is I would get really deep, intense fits of crying. Really deep. I've never had anything like it in my life other than this, okay? And during these intense states of crying, of course, all these questions would be in my head. I'll be let down, crying. What is happening to me? You know, why can't I get off this stuff? I'm stuck. I'm trapped. And guys, if you've ever felt trapped inside your own head, it's a horrendous place to be. And that is something that I experienced for a long time. It's really horrible. Okay. And so all these questions would be in my head. But this specific time, quite literally, it was like, boom, a light came on. And a voice from inside me, like talking to myself, Mark, you have got to sort this out right now. This is absolutely ridiculous. You cannot continue this path. If you keep going, it is either going to kill you or it is going to ruin the rest of your life. And I can remember it vividly. And I literally stood up there and then and was pacing up and down. And I was like, I've got to get this sorted. And from that very moment, guys, it was literally boom. And I was like, now is the time. And it literally woke me up kind of thing. It was like I was just alive. I was like, what have I just done? It was like a reality check. What have I just done for the last 20 years? Okay. Bear in mind, guys, at this time I was 35, started at 15. That's 20 years of my life that I still feel today. I still have resentment for myself for that it's wasted. It's wasted time. The earlier days of my life, the potential I had was gone. Okay, and that's something I have to live with. So I definitely have regrets, and I still resent myself for that. Okay, now I was then 35, and that was the start of the recovery journey. Okay, now by no means after that it was a smooth journey. As I've explained, I had to go through quite the ordeal to get sober, but that was the day when I was fully committed. The next day, even though I was hanging, it was doctors, it was research, and it was the mindset shift and change. I need to get this sorted. Okay, now why that specific moment we'll come on to in a minute, because I've been in that place before. Okay, so we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so that was the specific moment that I knew it's time to change from that moment. Okay, so that is the moment, guys. I hope that helps, and I hope that addresses it. Okay, so the second part, guys, I want to come on to, let's talk about rock bottom. Okay, guys, so let's talk about actual rock bottom. What is rock bottom? Okay, now my own personal feeling towards rock bottom is this. Rock bottom is a personalized, individual thing that one will experience with inside them to say, I'm now done. They've maybe hit such a low that there is a turning point for them. Okay, and they now say, I'm done, I'm now ready to move on. Okay, but that can take a long time to get to that point. Okay, so my first attempt of sobriety was in 2009. It took me until 2019. Okay, so that was a build up and an accumulation of horrific, horrendous experiences I put myself in to finally get to a point to say, now is the time. Okay, so I'm not talking about every Monday morning when you're hanging and you say, I'm going to change. This is something far, far deeper from within oneself to finally get it and say, now I need to change. Okay, so one thing I want to mention, guys, is this for maybe people who don't understand the concept of addiction and just how powerful it is, and don't understand why people don't change when these situations are there. From the outside looking in, it warrants change, some of these situations. So addiction for me, guys, this is from my own experience. You imagine me, the addict, is in the middle there, in the middle of the screen there. This is the addict. And that person, that addict, has all these things in their life. They have responsibility, they have relationships, they have money commitments, other commitments, finances, maybe children, they have a job, commitment to their job, their own health. Okay, so let's imagine the addict in the middle and all these things are around the outside. Now, what would happen in my situation, guys, is this. Once I take that drug at the start of that day one, let's say day 1 to 8, once that drug is inside me, my brain flips into addiction mode, okay? A couple of days pass, you've been on it. All those things around that circle, guys, become totally irrelevant. None of them matter. The addiction part of your brain is in full control. You will sack off your job. I lost many jobs, guys, because of these situations. Job's gone, didn't turn up for work a week, making any excuses, they know, sacked, happened many times. Money, you would spend every single penny you have and put yourself in tremendous debt. Guys, sometimes at the end of these sessions, I would have more than £3,000 worth of debt to a dealer to then pay off. So I've got no money, no job, and no way to pay, okay? So it's taken that from me. Any responsibility I have, gone. You haven't turned up for work, you haven't turned up to other commitments, okay? That's gone. The drugs are in control. Other commitments you may have, maybe you need to see people, maybe even children, there's cases, you need to see your kids. I know plenty of cases of that, they don't turn up, okay? And any form of commitment you have within that circle, guys, the addiction strips all that from you. And when you're at the end of that session, for me, when I was at the end of those 7 or 8 days, all you are left with is a broken shell of yourself. Okay, so addiction will strip all of those things from you. Okay, now what I want to say is this, like at the start of the video, that is rock bottom. You've come out of that situation and you've just lost absolutely everything within your circle of things that mean something to you. That is your life. Yet the drug has overpowered you and you've lost all of those things. You're now out. You've lost your house. You've lost your rent. You know, I've lost multiple times, guys. I had to go. Couldn't pay my rent. Spent all my bill money. Okay, because the addiction has taken it all. So I've now got to go somewhere. I'm walking on the street. Got nowhere to live. I've got no money. I'm in thousands of pounds of debt. What the hell am I going to do? It's then a reality check. What have I just done? Oh my God, oh my God. Horrendous. Now that happened to me multiple times. Yet it didn't prompt change. Why is that? Why is that? Isn't that enough to change? From anyone on the outside looking in, what's wrong with you? You have just lost everything, yet you haven't changed. Why are you not changing? What's wrong with you? And guys, that would be my perception right now. Looking at situations I see people in that I work with, from a sober state of mind, I should say, the drug, guys, is so powerful that the addict simply does not see it and they keep going. Why was that not enough to change me? Because it wasn't. Now, maybe I wasn't ready to change, you could say. Maybe God said you need to suffer more before I allow you to change. Crazy, right? But guys, that is the reality of addiction. So when I hear cases where people are in certain situations, and like I had a mother say to me the other day about her son, why is he not changing? Nothing surprises me, guys. He's not ready. He's not there yet. The light has not come on. He's not taking responsibility. He's maybe not hit that rock bottom. Crazy stuff, guys. So a couple of examples I want to give you. Real life examples. So some real life examples, guys. I have multiple people. Now, I'm not saying this is ultimate rock bottom, but multiple friends I've had over the years. They've gone to prison. Isn't prison supposed to be the ultimate deterrent? Reform? And now I know prison in England is probably not the hardest, but your freedom is still gone. It's still not a nice experience. Shouldn't that prompt change? From anyone from the outside looking in, surely that's going to change him. Guys, from my experience, it doesn't. I know people who have come out, close friends of mine, instantly, straight back on it. Nothing's changed, okay? And another example I want to give you guys, the most common one, kids. Again, I'm not saying this is a rock bottom moment, but this is for people who maybe don't understand the concept of why addicts don't change. The amount of friends I've had who have got kids on the way and they say, when that kid is born, I'm going to change. Okay, now maybe for a brief period, 2 or 3 weeks, once the kid is born, things have settled down, bang, they're back using again. Now, isn't having children the ultimate meaning in life? Purpose, meaningful? I want to be the best version of myself, the role model for my kid. I don't want to be taking class A drugs every weekend. But guys, let me tell you, if they're addicted, it changes nothing. I know people to this very day in that situation, okay? So there's a couple of examples I wanted to give you, okay? Now, a quick another point I want to say on, for me, why that specific moment, the answer is I'm not sure why exactly. But what I can tell you is, even that was an extremely low moment for me in that state. That was the best day of my life. Why? Because it prompted change. That was the start. You could almost say I intervened myself. Guys, I am very, very lucky. And that is one of the reasons why I started this YouTube channel. To help people, to educate people. Do not let it get to that situation. Because guys, sometimes the ultimate intervention can even be death. Sometimes people go past rock bottom, okay, until the ultimate happens. Do not let that be you, okay? So that's what I want to say on rock bottom. Hopefully that helps. I'm curious to know, guys, out of all my followers, I think I've got 3,500 now, thank you very much. Have you hit rock bottom? Did rock bottom prompt you to change? Was there a specific moment? Because we've all got our individualized stories to tell, right? I've shared mine. I'd like to hear yours. Tell me, was there a moment? Okay, and fascinating subject, guys. Could talk about it for hours, as you know. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Stay safe, stay sober. If anyone needs support on addiction, you know the website, guys, offthemarkcoaching.com. See you in the next one. Ciao.